The housing market is in trouble, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. And today, I'm here to tell you that the housing market is in trouble. Okay? So, we have a lot of interesting things to cover today on this channel. And it really has a lot to do with what mainstream media is pushing to you, what their agenda is pushing to you, and what I believe is actually going to happen in 2024. So, what are we hearing? We're hearing that housing prices are due to go up even more. We're hearing that interest rates are due to go up even more. So buy now, do whatever you can to purchase a home, right? We saw a frenzy, right? And then people are trying to correlate that to now. We understand how the news can push an agenda, and a lot of people will flock to that agenda because they don't have another source of information to go off of. When that type of stuff happens, it's easy for someone to fall victim and not truly understand what they're doing. So, for example, in this type of environment, you're easily going to pay $500 more for every $100,000 that you would have purchased versus when you would have bought in 2021 or 2022. Now, you're at least paying $500 more per $100,000 that you purchase. Understanding that, and also understanding that property taxes are due to go up. I have property taxes going up on both of my properties. So, understanding that sentiment, you're in for a rude awakening if you were to purchase now, because not only are you purchasing probably at top dollar, max dollar for what you can afford, but you're also going to get an increase in taxes that you may not be prepared for as well. Maybe if you get a condo, an increase in HOA fees, or if you're in a townhome or anything like that, an increase in HOA fees, or if you're in a residential area where they have HOA, again, increasing those fees as well. You have utilities going up in cost from water, gas, electricity, whatever the case may be. So all of these things play a part in essentially leaving people financially devastated. But again, when it comes to the housing market per se, I truly believe that we've already seen the peak of pricing. And why do I say that is because the run up that we had, the demand was so high. It was a seller's market, and it kind of still is a seller's market, to be honest with you. We are not out of a seller's market yet, but we're at the tail end of a seller's market. We're at the end of a seller's market. Soon it will be a buyer's market. What does that mean? That means pricing and affordability in the housing market will start to come into play. You see, the government is actually controlling the housing market. They're controlling the interest rates. They're lowering the amount of home builders that are entering into this space because they don't want to pay the high interest rates, and they understand that housing prices are due to drop. So you have less home builders in the market, which is suppressing the inventory. And then you have people not wanting to pay these higher interest rates, which is suppressing the inventory. And therefore, we're going to have higher prices for longer, right along with higher interest rates for longer. And if they're only going to do high interest rates until 2026 and then start to cut down and start to cut back, we're going to see a lot of people who are willing and able to afford those 8%, 9% rates. I do believe that the worst type of borrowers will be having 9% interest rates in the future, and that the best borrowers will be right around 7% for all of 2024. And so that 8% is going to be for those right in the middle. And, 8% is for those who honestly don't really have good credit right now at the time of making this video. So if that is the case, what I would tell people is there is absolutely no reason to buy unless you're renting and the rent is more expensive than the home ownership. If the rent is more expensive than home ownership, then you should probably look towards home ownership. If it's less expensive, then I would tell you to wait it out because interest rates will obviously fall in the next 2 years rather than rise up more. I do expect to see 6%, 5% interest rates again But again, it's not going to be for a while. And then that's going to be more bang for your buck as you increase, as you grow in wealth and grow in your information and grow in your understanding of your market and finding good deals. You'll be able to definitely imprint yourself on that market and find something that works for you. So, are housing prices going to go up another 20%? Absolutely not. Are interest rates going to go up a little bit more? Yes, I think so. Just a little bit more. And then it will stay flat. The housing market will be suppressed. And what's going to happen is people are going to have to move, which is actually going to hurt a lot of the noise around real estate as if it's a good investment. That's what they really want. They want the good investment in real estate to be quelled. They want that to be stifled a little bit. They want you to kind of move away from that understanding, from that perspective. What is that going to do? That's going to allow the big institutions, the big investors, the OGs, the older people to continue to buy up. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, because now you get that news, oh, real estate is bad, property prices are going down, X, Y, and Z. Don't buy, don't buy, don't buy. And then you miss your opportunity to buy. When they say don't buy is when you should absolutely buy. And when they tell you to buy, I mean, what do I always say? I do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. So if it's the time to buy, then it's not the time for me. And when it's not the time to buy, it's absolutely the time for me. Because I understand that if it's not the time to buy, that means something is cheap and it's time for me to get it while it's cheap. Because even if it gets cheaper, eventually it'll get more expensive. And I'd rather get it while it's cheap. I don't need it cheaper. I just need it cheap. I just need $5 off. I don't need $6. I just need $10 off. I don't need 15. I would love 15, but we all can't get that right price point. And so when we talk about a downturn in the housing market, I mean, that's inevitable. It's coming. By how much is to be determined, because I don't foresee as much people selling as people think. A lot of people are stuck in their jobs, and that is actually what is going to keep a lot of people in their homes, right? A lot of jobs are staying on the market. And so even if you could move for something better, you're not going to move because you want to make sure that your home is in tip-top condition. A lot of people don't want to be forced landlords, right? So you don't want to have to relocate and then rent out your space. And so a lot of people are going to stay put, and they're going to forego the $10,000 raise or the $15,000 raise to travel to a new location. And those who do have to sell because they may have lost a job or because they're expanding and growing their family and they can no longer force 3 kids to stay in a 1-bedroom, well, for those people, they will still be able to command a decent amount, maybe even break even, as long as they've been paying their mortgage. And if they do have to take a discount, hopefully they've saved enough to do so. If they haven't, they'd probably let it go into foreclosure. So we will see a little bit more foreclosures, but I don't believe that we'll see too many depressed and the properties that are just not capable of holding its own, because people have already let go of all their excess cars. People have already let go of all their excess spending. A lot of people have been saving a lot more, which means they're building better habits. And with cheaper interest rates on their housing, I do believe that they're primed to stay in that home for longer. And so if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. What do you think is going to happen in the housing market? Do you think that it's still primed to go up another 5, 10, 15%? Or is it due to crash? Right? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.